again from ShortMeTina.com with my daily recap. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a great and enjoyable Tuesday. Today, we hit the middle of the week. It is hump day, so you have Thursday, Friday, 2 more days until the weekend is upon you. I am cheering for you. Cheer for yourself. You've made it so far. I'm sure you can make it 2 more days. All right. Before we get into a recap of the overall market, in similar fashion, I want to welcome you. If this is your very first time tuning into a ShortMeTina video, I'd like to say welcome. Do us a solid in the comment section. Drop us a comment. Let me know your name. Say hi. I generally say hi back. If you are returning, I want to say welcome back. I know you can be doing a lot of things, but at this moment in this time, you choose to spend it with me, and for that I will be forever grateful. All right, so let's get into a recap of the S&P, the S&P 500, the SPY. You're looking at a daily chart dating back to 2017. Again, if this is not your first time hearing one of my analysis of the SPY, none of this should be new to you. Again, I feel like a broken record, but I think it needs to be said, and I will say it every single day. You know what they say, repetition is the mother of learning, or I believe the expression goes something like that. Anyway, we're up about 0.8% on the day. We closed at 292.41. So this range that I have identified here is a little bit specific, right? It's not necessarily whole numbers, and that range is 281.72 on the lower end to 294.15. Now that range just really kind of covers this area here, everything that occurred since Jay Powell decided to issue rate cuts, right? Since he decided to issue rate cuts, we had this bit of a decline, and essentially that has been the range that you've seen since then. The lower end specifically comes in at 281.72, higher end 294.15. So for the most part, that's the range I'm looking at, right? If you want to take it into whole numbers, again, specifically, and I don't want to use that word a gazillion times, what I'm paying attention to is that 280 range for support. Again, that's around the 200-day moving average. And actually, if you take a longer-term view on the chart, that actually has been support for around, or it's held as, I want to say, relatively reliable or strong support dating back to 2017. And then we have resistance of around, again, I gave it a range around 293 to 295. And so what I'm paying attention to is for the markets to have a sustained move above or below those price points, right? So for support, if it has a sustained move below 280, then I'm going to say, well, it looks like the bears are actually dominating the conversation at this point. If we have a sustained move above 293 to 295, equally, I'll say, well, look, you know what? It looks like the bulls is taking control of the market. So sitting here at 292.41, granted, we are relatively close to resistance of 290 to 295. Sometimes I do anticipate moves. In this particular situation, I'm not going to anticipate a move because, as you can see here, when it got to 293, anticipating a move here would have actually not been the best thing to do, because the market pulled back around 7%. Again, if you had anticipated that move in October of 2018 that we were actually going to break out, then you would have lost, because we had that 25% decline where we actually bottomed out in December of 2018 before that 25% run up. So to sum up, all I'm paying attention to right now in the SPY, again, are those two levels, 280 to 295. Full disclaimer, full disclosure, I remain short the market until it tells me to do otherwise. What else? All right, and then we have the IWM, also up about 0.8% on the day. I see a close here of 150.35, similar to the SPY. I'm only paying attention to 2 price points, support and resistance. I think that for the past 2 years, that has served as a really good barometer for me, specifically as a trader, in terms of what I should be doing directionally with my trading account. Also serves as a barometer, in my opinion, for market sentiment. All right, so again, those two levels that I'm paying attention to is support. We can say that comes in at around 144 to 145. Resistance clocks in at 160. Again, if you want more color on the IWM, you can go and listen to any videos that I've done. I would say perhaps at the beginning of August, or any video in July. But again, those are the price points that I'm paying attention to. I'm not gonna focus and worry myself again with what I call the quote unquote middle. I'm just going to pay attention to what I'm calling the quote unquote extreme. So if we break that 144 to 145 level, this red line here, I'm going to say, well, you know what? It looks like we might have another pullback, maybe not extreme as this, but we're going to have another pullback or sell off like we saw in late November or in November to December. Conversely, if we ever break above that 160 mark with confirming volume close above that on strength, then for me, directionally, it looks like the market wants to start an uptrend, and we might see more of what we saw here back in July to around August of 2018. All right, so I hope that's clear. If it's not, do me a solid and just drop me a comment in the comment section. What else? All right, and then we have Target. So contrast to the SPY and the IWM, we actually saw a bit of excitement today in Target. Right now, what you're looking at is a daily chart dating back to around 2018. We're up about 20% on the day. Huge earnings gap up with confirming volume. I like to throw out my disclaimers there. Full disclaimer, full disclosure. We actually took this trade in the premium member community, so we didn't partake in today's excitement. We've been in the trade for a couple of days to a couple of weeks. We were able to get a profit out of this trade, but we ended up closing the trade because the company was going to report earnings, and considering or given what's going on in the retail space, I did not want to take that. I just didn't want to take that chance. I wanted to lock in the profits that we already had. With that said, am I disappointed that I missed this move? Not necessarily. Granted, it would have been nice to also capture, in addition to what we already had, it'd been nice to capture this 20% move. But even so, I actually think that for Target, and I actually told my members this in the midweek recap, I said, you know what? I think Target is actually setting up that you can play it on both a short and a long. So I think that there's actually two trades potentially emerging with Target. So pay attention. You can see here, and I'm not going to go too much within the technicals because, again, it's actually a trade that I want to take within the upcoming days, providing that an opportunity presents itself. But if you are looking for a stock to trade, you want to pay attention to Target. Again, I think it's going to be that gift that keeps on giving. So we're up about 20%, closed at 103. The high of the day clocked in at 103.38. So we closed relatively close to the high of the day, which is essentially in many respects bullish in nature. But you got to sort of contrast that with the fact that this particular stock is up 20% on the day. So a huge move. So again, put Target on your radar, put it on your watch list. Obviously, the levels that I'll be paying attention to, just generally speaking, would be sort of like that $90 level, as well as today's high of 103.38. What else? All right, and so I wanted to update everyone on Snapchat, ticker SNAP daily chart. Yes, I remain long. So we closed here at $16.14. Again, up marginally on the day. I actually really haven't looked at my Snapchat holding. I haven't really looked at Snapchat. I've been in this since around 9 or 10. So up nicely on this trade. And I do see this at some point, as I've indicated before, hitting or retesting at minimum all-time highs of around 29, 24. So why haven't I really paid too much attention to Snapchat? Well, because the stock is acting, in my opinion, it's acting very bullish, right? So since bottoming out back in December of 2018, and you gotta think about this, since the stock peaked during its IPO around 29.44, it essentially has been in a decline, right? In a decline for about a year and a half. And what's a decline? It's characterized by lower highs, right? That's the high, lower highs, etc. And then eventually in December of 2018, coincidentally, with the entire market, we started that uptrend. And since then, it has, in my opinion, it has been in a clear, uptrend, which is characterized by higher lows. And we're still continuing that trend. Now, granted, yes, we have pulled back a few percentage points or a few percentages from that high we achieved after earnings. I believe that high was around $18.36 or $18.50. So since then we've pulled back, but even so, we've still managed to put in higher lows. And for me, that signals that Snap remains in an uptrend, and so I remain long. In fact, I'm waiting for it to sort of establish a base so I can perhaps add to my holdings and essentially roll into that position. So still like Snap in the shorter term. I easily can see this hitting $20 before 2019 is out. Like seriously, I can see this stock hitting $20 with a continued or a resurgence of this bull market. So you might want to pay attention to Snap. Even sitting here at $16, if we pull back a little bit more to 15, that's still about 4 or 5 points of upside, which is for me huge. So again, if you're looking for a trade, I just gave you two. Look at Target, look at Snapchat. I like them both. They're acting bullish. What else? All right, and then really briefly, we have ticker WTRH daily chart. Congrats to the bulls. Stock is up 34% on the day. I see a close here of 185. There is some activities in after hours. It's up about an additional 8%. And the last quote I saw was around $1.99, which essentially puts the stock price, in my opinion, right here at around, if I can straighten that out a little bit, right around here, which is at that $2 mark. So on a shorter time frame, it looks like the stock is ready to break out. If it surpasses $2, and definitely pay attention to pre-market trading, that'll tell you a lot. If it can sustain a move, if it can sustain a move above $2, then I think in short order we can easily see 273, and just keep an eye out. There's a gap to be filled here at around $3.57. So that's my take on ticker WTRH. So congrats to the bulls again. What else? And then we have ticker LEDs daily chart. Is up about 30% on the day, going as high today as 410 with volume. We closed at 290, down a little bit in after hours. We're down, I believe, an additional 3% or so. I see a quote of $2.82. So while it was a really bullish day, I do not like the close. I don't like what's going on in after hours. So what I'd be paying attention to if I am long and in this trade and did not take profits, then I'd want to pay attention to what goes on in pre-market, and specifically I'd want to pay attention to exactly where the stock opens up tomorrow. So if we open up below 290 and below the after hour quote of around 282, that's not a good sign for ticker LEDs, and I would not be surprised if we fill this gap here of around $2.37. Not there yet. Again, I pay attention to what goes on in pre-market. If we open up below the close, that's not a good sign, and if we breach today's low of 262, that's also not a good sign. What else? And let's wrap it up and round it out with ticker ARTL daily chart. It's off about 32% on the day. Searched around, can't find exactly any sort of news reporting as to why the stock is down 32%. But interestingly, it is actually now up about an additional 13% in after hours. So while you see a quote here of 185, the after hours quote that I last saw is around 210. So because of all that yin yang, and especially considering that there's no there's no news painting a picture as to why this move occurred, I would just stay completely far away from this stock from both a long perspective and a short. And FYI, you should not be shorting stocks that trade at $1. You should not be shorting penny stocks. But in terms of going long, I wouldn't even bother, because again, stock is down 32% in one day on no news, at least that I can find. If someone that's actually in this stock that's been following for a very long time knows exactly why it's down 32%, do us a favor, do us a solid, and just drop that comment in the comment section and let us know why. But again, from the research that I did, I could not find anything, but it's down 32% on the day, up about 13% in after hour. A little bit too much volatility for a small cap, for a penny stock. Not my cup of tea. I would stay far away. And that's kind of my take on ticker ARTL. So let's wrap it up and round it out there. Tina here once again from ShortMeTina.com. If you enjoyed any portion of this video, I'd like for you to do three things for me. One, if you know why ARTL is down 32%, do me a solid and comment in the comment section. Outside of that, just comment and say hi. What do you think about my SPY analysis, IWM? Are you looking at Target? You should be. What about Snap? And the others. Again, comment in the comment section too. Make sure you are subscribed at our YouTube channel at ShortMeTina. I do videos Monday through Fridays at different times. If you want to be notified immediately when I upload a video, make sure you are subscribed. And lastly, my friend, I've been trading for well over 15 years. So if you think you can learn anything from me, then head on over to ShortMeTina.com, sign up, become a member. Thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for the support. I will talk to you soon.